Is Victor Wembanyama the next face of the NBA? At 7'5" with the ball handling of a guard and the shot blocking of a defense anchor, he's already proving to be a one-of-a-kind talent. From tearing up European leagues to becoming the most hyped NBA prospect in 2 decades, his journey has been nothing short of extraordinary. Now, in his rookie season, he's making history, silencing doubters, and showing why the NBA world can't stop talking about him. But what makes Wembanyama so special? And can he truly live up to the high expectations? In this video, we will break down the insane rise of Victor Wembanyama, from his early days in France to his electrifying impact in the NBA. Let's get started. Early life and origins. Victor Wembanyama was born on January 4, 2004, in Le Chesnay, France, a small suburb just outside of Paris. From the moment he entered the world, it was clear he was built differently. Height runs deep in his family, and genetics played a major role in shaping him into the athlete he would become. His father, Felix Wembanyama, was a high-level track and field athlete specializing in long jump, high jump, and triple jump. His mother, Elodie de Feturo, was a former professional basketball player and later became a coach. With such parents, Wembanyama had no shortage of athletic influences growing up. His mother, in particular, played a key role in his basketball development. She understood the technical aspects of the game and ensured he learned the fundamentals the right way. Unlike many tall kids who are immediately pushed into the center position, Wembanyama was taught to play like a guard from an early age. His mother believed that developing all-around skills would make him a more complete player in the future, and she couldn't have been more right. By the time he was 7, Wembanyama had already started playing organized basketball. With time, he joined his first club, Entente Le Chesnay Versailles, where his natural talent and incredible wingspan immediately set him apart. It didn't take long before scouts and coaches began to take notice. At just 10 years old, he was recruited into the youth system of Notre 92, one of France's most respected basketball academies. Most kids at that age are still learning the basics, but Wembanyama was already training with professionals and competing against players much older than him. His rapid development, combined with an unmatched work ethic, made it clear that he was on a completely different trajectory than his peers. By the time Victor Wembanyama was 13, he was already pushing 6 feet tall. But what made him stand out wasn't just his height, it was the way he moved. The growth spurt and early dominance. Unlike most kids his size, he wasn't awkward or stiff. He had coordination, balance, and a natural feel for the game. Then came the growth spurt that changed everything. Over the next few years, he shot up like a skyscraper, stretching past 7 feet before he even turned 16. By the time he reached his full height of 7'5", he had the skill set of a guard, the shooting touch of a forward, and the defensive instincts of an elite rim protector. He continued training at Notre 92, where he had been developing his skills since the age of 10. But now, he wasn't just another promising prospect, he was dominating. Even at a young age, his length and shot blocking ability made him an absolute nightmare for opponents. Coaches realized he wasn't just some tall kid who could dunk. He had footwork, agility, and a natural ability to read the game. He could grab a rebound, push the ball up the floor, and either create for his teammates or pull up for a jumper himself. That kind of skill at his height was unheard of. His talent didn't go unnoticed. In 2018, when he was just 14, he was loaned to FC Barcelona for a youth tournament in Spain. It was his first time competing on a major international stage, and he didn't disappoint. Even against some of the best young players in Europe, he stood out. His shot blocking was elite. His presence in the paint was overwhelming, and he showed flashes of perimeter shooting that made scouts take serious notice. And from that point forward, the hype surrounding his name only grew louder. By the time Victor Wembanyama was 16, he was playing against grown men in Europe's top leagues and dominating. In the 2021-22 season with Asvel, one of France's best teams, he made it clear that he was unlike anything European basketball had ever seen. He was swatting shots into the stands, draining threes with ease, and moving like a guard despite standing 7'5". The real turning point came when he joined Metropolitans 92 in 2022. That season, he unleashed his full potential. He led the league in scoring, rebounds, and blocks. Every game felt like a showcase for his limitless potential, and NBA teams took notice. Then, in the 2023 NBA Draft, he landed the #1 pick for the San Antonio Spurs.
In the 2023 NBA Draft, the San Antonio Spurs select Victor Wembanyama from Nanterre, France.
The 2023 NBA Draft. Now, Wembanyama wasn't just the best player in the draft. He was the most hyped prospect since LeBron James in 2003. Scouts had been watching him for years, and by the time the draft rolled around, there was no debate. His mix of size, skill, and defensive dominance made him the kind of talent that only comes around once in a generation. For the Spurs, the timing couldn't have been better. The team had been searching for a new cornerstone since the Tim Duncan era ended. His arrival immediately changed everything. The franchise, which built its legacy on dominant big men like Duncan and David Robinson, now had a new one. Wembanyama could shoot threes, handle the ball, and defend multiple positions. The moment his name was called on draft night, Spur fans knew that the championship dreams were back on the table. With all that talent, though, comes pressure. The label of most can't-miss prospect in 20 years isn't easy to carry. Before he even stepped on an NBA court, Wembanyama was being compared to legends. Analysts said he had the defensive instincts of Kevin Garnett, the offensive potential of Kevin Durant, and the all-around dominance of Giannis Antetokounmpo. Those are Hall of Fame names, and yet people believed Wembanyama could be even better. That kind of expectation can crush most young players, but Wembanyama has embraced it. In his rookie season, he's already showing flashes of why the hype was justified. He's blocking shots at an elite level, hitting step-back threes, and making plays that don't seem physically possible. The pressure isn't fading, it's only growing. But if there's one player built to handle it, it's Victor Wembanyama. This guy is breaking through everyone. Recent breakthroughs and NBA stardom. His rookie season has not been just about fitting into the NBA. It has been about proving he belonged among the league's best. And he's doing exactly that, toying even with Kevin Durant.
Shot clock is off. Wembanyama goes right by Durant. Oh! Wemby! With the left hand! Oh, look at KD's face!
He is now the youngest player in San Antonio Spurs history to be named an NBA All-Star, a confirmation that he's already making an impact at a level few rookies ever reach. Coaches and players around the league have seen enough. They know Wembanyama is special. Beyond personal accolades, he's been delivering in big moments for the Spurs. One of the standout games of his season came on an international stage when San Antonio played in Paris. With his home country watching, Wembanyama put on a show, leading the Spurs to a victory that felt bigger than just another regular season win. It was a full circle moment for a kid who grew up dreaming of the NBA while dominating European courts. Now he was the face of the league's future, showing the world exactly why he's the most exciting young player in basketball. What's been most impressive, though, is his growth. Early in the season, some critics pointed out areas where he needed to improve: his game, shot selection, and adapting to NBA-level physicality. But as the season has progressed, he silenced those doubts. His decision-making has sharpened, his defensive presence is even more dominant, and he's adjusting to the league's pace with every game. His shot blocking numbers are already elite, and his offensive bag continues to expand, whether it's hitting deep threes or finishing tough plays inside. He isn't waiting for year 2 or 3 to make a difference. He's doing it now. If his rookie season is any indication, we're watching the early stages of one of the greatest players of all time, Wembanyama's future. You see, his potential isn't just about being a great player. It's about whether he could become one of the greatest of all time. The skill set, the physical gifts, and the mentality are all there. But to truly cement his legacy, he'll need more than just highlight plays and all-star selections. He'll need championships, MVPs, and longevity. The best players in history, Michael Jordan, LeBron, Kareem, and Duncan, weren't just dominant for a few seasons. They sustained greatness for over a decade, evolving their games and consistently leading their teams to success. Wembanyama's journey is just beginning, but the blueprint is clear. The biggest obstacle to greatness is something he can't control: his health. At 7'5", history isn't exactly on his side. Big men with extraordinary height like Yao Ming, Ralph Sampson, and even Kristaps Porzingis have struggled with injuries throughout their careers, and we can already see players like Ivica Zubac exploit this.
We're going to break. Look at Ivica Zubac coming down the screen, I don't know how hard he shoved Wembanyama. Wembanyama went flying and then wanted to come after.
The key for Wembanyama will be maintaining his durability, adding strength without losing mobility, and avoiding the foot and knee issues that have derailed so many giants before him. If he can stay healthy, there's no limit to what he can accomplish. Then there's the mental side of the game. The pressure of being called a generational talent can break some players. Every night, he's expected to dominate and every move is scrutinized. He'll also be facing some of the toughest competition in NBA history. Luka Doncic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Nikola Jokic are all players in their prime who will stand in his way. He'll need to develop that killer instinct and the ability to take over games when it matters most. When you compare him to other all-time greats at this stage, he's ahead in some areas and behind in others. LeBron, as a rookie, was already a complete offensive force, but he didn't have Wembanyama's defensive dominance. On the other hand, Shaq had unstoppable power, but he couldn't shoot like Wemby. The potential is undeniable, but to reach GOAT status, he'll need to put everything together over time. If he does, we could be watching the most unique and dominant player the game has ever seen. Anyway, what do you think about Wembanyama's rise? Is he on his way to becoming one of the greatest, or is there still a long road ahead? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this deep dive, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more content like this.